What's going on, people? Back again with another video. Today, in the first of our exchange review series, we are going to review the FTX Derivatives Exchange. If you're new to our channel, you can check out the tutorial showing you the platform in more detail in the link in the description below. But for this review, we undertook a detailed SWOT analysis of the exchange's fundamentals using the metrics highlighted, and we're going to be providing a short summary on our findings. Before we get started on the review itself, let me explain a little bit about the review process. The aim of the review is to improve the quality of exchanges in the crypto space for users, whilst also giving valuable feedback to the exchange. All views and opinions expressed in the reviews are those of the team and not intended as financial advice. We utilize the following review matrix to grade the exchange based on all the metrics listed in the table shown. Each section is marked out of 3 with an extra bonus point for any section for anything we find outstanding. Projects are given a score and then graded using the following table. The maximum score for any review is 100 or an A++ grading, and the aim of the score or grade is intended as a guide only. A full link to the review and SWOT analysis is provided in the description below. But if we go ahead and jump straight into the review, let's have a look what FTX is about and how it rated. So in summary, we were highly impressed with the FTX Exchange during the review. The products and markets that they offer represent a new evolution in the derivatives trading sector. Using our review criteria, the FTX Exchange scored an outstanding 83 out of 100, and we therefore score the project at grade A rating. Now, I'm going to say we rarely award such a high score to a new exchange. However, FTX stood out head and shoulders over its competition, and with a few improvements, it's possible to see the exchange improve its score to an A++ in time. So if we go ahead and break this score down on our view matrix, we're going to highlight the strengths, weaknesses, and areas for improvement on each section. So moving on to the first section, a little bit about FTX. The exchange was launched in July of this year and it's going to take some time to develop a trusted track record of managing user funds and also delivering uptime during periods of peak trading. So we're unable to score them based on their operating history. However, the exchange, even though it's relatively new, adoption for the brand is strong, and this is displayed by the uptake for the Battle Royale trading competition. FTX itself is unique in terms of its competitors as well, with most notably its indexes offered and also its USD-based settlement. The exchange itself is listing new markets on a regular basis and is certainly distinguishing itself in terms of its competitors. Now, having a look, the exchange scores 12 out of 15 in this section, but I can say that this will improve once the exchange has more trading history. We usually look at a minimum of 12 months. Now, moving on to the team. So the team behind FTX is a highly experienced one, and they're headed up by their CEO, Sam Bankman-Fried. This gentleman has trading experience that started working 3 years at Jane Street, which is a prop trading firm. He then went on to co-found Alameda Research, which is one of the largest OTC providers in the space, and a large quant fund, and then went on to found FTX itself. Now, in terms of the exchange, it's building key strategic partnerships with stablecoin Circle and TrueUSD. As we mentioned before about the USD settlement, I think this is key in terms of allowing it to settle trades in its USD stablecoins. Another positive we identified for the exchange is that there's a registered company and it's based in the Caribbean. So apart from these guys chilling and working on the beach, it also means that there's no current concerns about US-based regulation. Now, one thing we noted where the team could improve is their transparency around the team info. I noticed on the website that there's only one team member listed on there, which is the CEO, Sam. However, there is a LinkedIn profile for the exchange and all team members are listed on there. So it'd be nice to see that information duplicated across the website. And I guess one threat we could maybe identify for the team, but they've probably already considered this based on the fact that they're located in the Caribbean. There may potentially be some regulatory hurdles that they have to overcome in the future, but I assume they'll be able to pivot and address these as and when anything comes up. So looking at the score for the team, they scored an impressive 14 out of 15. The only area where they could improve is in terms of their finances. Their project itself raised funds prior to the launch of the exchange, which again is seen as a positive. They also managed to raise funds via their FTT token. Now, the only area where they missed out on the score was any annual or quarterly or biannual report in terms of their finances, or a financial report. Now, this is not uncommon for exchanges. I can't remember many exchanges, or if any, publish a financial report on their income, expenditure, etc. But it is something we'd like to see from exchanges. Moving on, in terms of the features for the exchange, it's clear to see that the exchange is targeting both a Western and Chinese trader market to adopt its platform. We say this because the website, the API, and the support are all multilingual, which is nice to see. The API for the exchange is fully documented and on their website, and as we mentioned, available in Chinese as well. In terms of the trading interface, it's clean, easy to use, and packed full of markets and features. This includes a volume monitor, and we'll touch on that later on, but that's a really cool feature. There's also a huge range of trading pairs. I believe it was 29 base pairs. The exchange offers up to 101x leverage and advanced order types. Now, in terms of the leverage, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, guys, but I don't remember any other exchanges offering 101x. So yeah, please let me know. And there's also a native token for the exchange, which is FTT. Several utilities for that, which include collateral for trades and reduced trading fees. However, one thing we want to say is the limited use for the FTT token is restricted to the exchange's ecosystem. To improve on that, it would be nice to see a utility outside of the ecosystem. An example we could give is maybe offering staff salaries or bonuses in the FTT token. In terms of fees on the exchange, they're significantly below the industry average. And I think FTX is the first exchange I've come across in 6 years of trading that offers a zero withdrawal fee. So that's definitely a positive for the exchange. In terms of the score for this section, let's have a quick look and refer to our matrix. As we can see, they score 14 out of 15 on the features section, highly impressive. And as we mentioned, the only mark that they've missed out on is not having a utility for the token outside of the ecosystem for the exchange itself. So that being said, there's also areas for improvement. Although the exchange has scored impressively on the sections we've covered, there is improvement around the next section, which is security. Now, before we get started, this isn't to say that their exchange is insecure, but for example, the addition of whitelisting addresses for users would provide an additional user layer of security for the user. So that's one area that they missed out on. We also recommend that the exchange could implement an emergency lock feature on accounts in case a user's account is compromised. An example we can give of this is when a user signs up, if they're able to note down a memorable phrase, in case their account's ever hacked, the option would be to send a support ticket that's labeled as priority. They input their memorable phrase. The exchange acknowledges that this phrase is a security feature. They then instantly lock the account and hopefully restricting the user's account from being compromised. So in effect, it's like a dead man switch. Now, there's not many exchanges who implement any features like this, but it is something we'd really like to see. On a more positive note, The 2FA is mandatory for users to deposit and basically trade on the exchange, so that's nice to see. It's also nice to see several options for 2FA rather than just a standard Google Authenticator. On FTX, the options available are Google, Authy, and SMS. Now, one thing we want to touch on in relation to the security for exchanges when we do these reviews is for the following. In terms of FTX, we couldn't find any record or any reference to any security audit for the exchange. We feel that exchanges overall could benefit from advising their users if any regular security audits take place. And that's given the regular occurrence of hacks that tend to happen for exchanges. Another thing we also recommend exchanges do, and it's another area that FTX missed out on bonus points for, was publishing information around their policies and legal procedures in case of hacks, in case of a death of one of the team, say for example the CEO in reference to Quadriga. And it would be nice to inform the users also on how the funds are stored and secured. So again, these are areas for improvement for exchanges across the board. I think overall in terms of the security, we have a look, we can see the score when scoring 7 out of 15. There's definitely areas for improvement as highlighted. Now, just finishing off on this, some may feel that our criteria is too strict, but the aim of this review is to benefit users and also inform exchanges of better security practices that they could undertake. So if we move on to the legal section, as you can see, KYC is mandatory on the exchange. Anyone who wants to withdraw anything over $1,000 has to register and get approved for KYC. One thing we liked was FTX have partnered with Chain Analysis to monitor any suspicious activity on the blockchain with Chain Analysis's Know Your Transaction product. It basically assists with the KYC and account vetting procedures and definitely seen as a positive. Now, in terms of the volumes for the exchange, it's often hard to verify exchange volumes. So one thing we really liked about the exchange here at FTX was the volume monitor feature. If you have a look on the dashboard, it brings it up. You can dig in and have a look. Basically compares the reported and real volumes over 28 exchanges and then gives them an appropriate score based on a set criteria. What this shows to me is that the parent company, Alameda Research, is obviously doing its research in the space on other exchanges. They've probably been doing it prior to launching this exchange anyway. If you want to check out more information on the volume monitor feature, the link's in the description below, but we found that really cool. Moving on. So this is one thing I want to touch on. Being a derivatives-based exchange, US users are exempt from trading on the platform, as people probably know. However, this isn't seen as an issue, especially since many traders still trade on BitMEX despite the same restrictions. So basically, in a nutshell, if you're a derivatives exchange, you're pretty much forced to ban US traders from trading on your platform. As I mentioned, most traders are experienced with this and they know how to circumnavigate. So it's not really seen as an issue. Another thing we want to touch on, which we found really cool, was there's an accounting feature on the platform that allows users to download their full trading history, and being a USD based exchange or USD settlement based exchange, this information is tax report friendly as users don't have to convert crypto values to fiat for tax reports. So just touching on that, anyone who's done their tax returns will know the biggest headache that comes from trading altcoins or trading any sort of derivatives product is when you make your trade, the base asset is your asset of the pair that you're trading on. So it's Bitcoin perpetual, if you're trading in Bitcoin. You then get a Bitcoin settlement at the end of it, and it's up to you as a user to identify the fiat value of that Bitcoin when you started trading and when the settlement was made. So you in effect basically have to pay an accountant to do that. It's a lot of time for you to do that as an individual. Definitely seen as a positive that on this exchange, when you download your trading history, it's going to be in a USD value. So very tax report friendly. Moving on to the score for the legal section, as you can see, again scored an impressive 13 out of 15. So highly impressive in terms of the legal issues. Or moving on, let's have a quick look at the community. So the current channel of communication is Telegram. However, we recommend that the exchange move over to a Discord server, as the management of channels is much easier and it allows for much easier communication, especially with non-English speakers, because you're able to set up a channel for a specific language. There's a multilingual website, as we touched on before, which is cool. And there's also been organic community growth, which has been helped by the Battle Royale trading competition, but also the innovative altcoin indexes that have been launched. They're not available to trade anywhere elsewhere. Communication from the team itself is excellent, with the CEO having a public presence. He's actively engaged with the public, and I believe he does a regular AMA as well. Couple of things that the exchange could probably improve on is limited multilingual support. Again, I think having a Discord server helps with this, because then you're able to list numerous channels for different languages. Users can then jump in there and get the ball rolling for their support needs. Another area where they could improve on is, I believe, support tickets are processed on a case-by-case basis. It would be nice to, basically this means that it requires priority system for urgent cases. It would be nice to have some sort of filter to prioritize whatever user support based on the user need. Apart from that, going to the scoring matrix, the community scores are highly impressive, 14 out of 15 again. Only area for improvement would be around the website. I don't believe it's GDPR compliant. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but it would be nice to see that standardized from websites regardless of where they're based. And finally, if you move over to the miscellaneous section, just touching on the positives and the weaknesses here. Again, as we said, clean and easy to use trading interface. We've mentioned the zero withdrawal fees. In terms of the referral program, let's have a quick look, see what that's like. So there's a generous referral program for the exchange. Again, correct me if I'm wrong with this, but it's the first one I've seen which rewards both the person who refers you and also the person who signs up with a percentage reward. So again, correct me if I'm wrong. The only threats we can identify, and this stands for any exchange, is users are at risk of losing funds if the exchange is ever hacked or closes down. So again, this is just a final reminder at the end of the review to always treat your funds safely and securely. The whole aim of these reviews is to give you some sort of due diligence on the exchange and their practices and areas they can improve. So I guess that leads us nicely onto the final conclusion. So as we see, we scored the miscellaneous 9 out of 9. There's only 3 sections here. Each section got a full 3 out of 3. And finally, the withdrawals. Big thumbs up to you guys at FTX for the zero withdrawal fees. So moving back to the conclusion, let's just sum this up. Overall, the exchange has had an excellent start from its launch in July of this year, and we were highly impressed with what they brought to the table. In my opinion, it's entirely possible to envisage FTX becoming the market leader for altcoin trading in the future, with their index contracts such as the altcoin indexes, the exchange indexes, and many more to come, allowing users exposure to a basket of coins without ever having to purchase an individual altcoin itself. So that's very important to remember. If you're going to take one thing away from this review, please take that home. It's also worth noting that FTX has the first BTC volatility market, which is its move market. This also has the potential to disrupt the derivatives market on its own. If anyone's not aware, this volatility index, basically it's a measurement of the price movement of Bitcoin on a particular day or a particular time frame. I believe they have a 1-day, 3-day, 7-day, 10-day, 14-day and 30-day contract. Basically, the candle that you see represents the price movement from the previous day, from the open to the close, and then users are then able to trade based on the price movement they see for the contract period that they're looking at, and they're able to long or short based on that. So just wrapping this up, guys, that's it for today's review. If you guys have any feedback or comments, please let us know in the comments below or hit us up on our email on contact@prooforreview.com. If you like the video, please hit the like and subscribe button. If there's any exchanges that you'd like us to see or that you'd like to see us review, please hit us up in the comments and let us know. And then finally, you can check out more coin, exchange and wallet reviews on our channel or on our website at www.prooforreview.com. Thanks a lot for watching and we'll see you soon.